for many reasons. And if everybody could just be courteous in questioning her, I would really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
So I'd like to call Jesse Jacob.
All right, Mr. Mayor. And just to be clear, I didn't say this before. The way we're going to run this format, my goal is to be done by 9. That's about 3 hours. We might go a few minutes over since I came in late. That's the goal. We're going to allow each witness to come up, and at that point, we'll allow members of the committee to ask a question. The question has to be germane to the topic. This is about the Michigan elections, okay? I will allow one question per member, no follow-ups, one question, okay? That's how we're going to do it for each witness. And that's because of the shenanigans. I was going to allow a little leeway, but I'm not now. All right, we're going to do one question per witness. We're going to go through each one. I call them witnesses, but people who are testifying here. And then lastly, at the end, Mr. Giuliani will take those questions. That's how we're going to do it. So I understand Jesse Jacobs is first.
Could I have Jenna say a word or two?
Yes, of course. Why don't you go ahead?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the committee. And I appreciate your calling this session, Mr. Chairman, and that we have members that are both Democrats and Republicans here. But you're all here in your capacity as legislators. And this is not a political question. This is a legal one. When you have what you will see before you as substantial evidence of fraud and corruption in an election, it's your obligation under the United States Constitution to not allow the corruption to continue. And under Article 2, Section 1.2, the state legislators are the entity that our founders specifically vested with the authority to ensure against a corrupt popular vote. So at the end of the evidence and the testimony that we present today, we are going to be asking you to take action on this. You've already heard from a number of witnesses and other people and evidence over the past day and a half. I would ask you all to put aside your party affiliation and look openly and honestly at these witnesses and this evidence, because here we're all Americans. And our founders specifically provided this tool, the state legislature, to be able to combat corruption or foreign influence when that happens in an election. We sit before you today on behalf of the President of the United States, but as he said today in a speech from the White House, it's his sworn duty and obligation to make sure that election integrity and free and fair elections are preserved in this country. And we will be asking you, after taking a look at the testimony presented today, to take that oath that you have made as state legislators very, very seriously. The law is on your side because the U.S. Constitution is on your side. And we would be happy to answer any questions about that at the end of this proceeding, but thank you very much for your time and attention today.
Thank you, and there will be questions about that, I assure you. Are we ready for Ms. Jacobs? Mm-hmm. All right, please, Ms. Jacobs, when you're ready, come forward. Welcome to the House Oversight Committee. And when you sit down, you push the red button there. That'll turn on the microphone, and you can speak. And just to be clear, you speak. When you're done, we'll allow one question per member, but we're not going to interrupt you. So I just want everyone to be cognizant of the fact our goal is to be done, a little after 9. So welcome, and thank you for coming here today to tell your story.
With Ms. Jacob is her husband. Your full name is?
Sunny Jacob. Sunny Jacob.
And your full name is?
Jesse Jacob.
And Jesse, you're a resident of Detroit?
Yes, I am.
And you were born in India, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And you came to the U.S. in 1985?
That's true.
And you and your husband became United States citizens?
Yes, in 1995.
And how many children do you have, Jesse?
3 children.
How old are they?
The older one is 36, and the second one is 32, and the third one is 24.
And what do they do?
The older one, she's my oldest daughter. She's practicing in the emergency medicine, physician at Washington, D.C. since 2014, yes.
And
my son,
your son?
he's doing his fellowship in child and adolescent psychiatry at Dallas Southwestern University Medical Center.
And your youngest daughter?
She's a third year med school student at Wayne State.
Congratulations. So let's get right to it. On September, you've been an employee of the city of Detroit for many, many years. Is that correct?
That is true.
Approximately how long?
Since 1986 August.
And you have the title of head engineer?
Yeah, that's my current title.
And on September 8th, you were assigned to election duties, were you not?
That is true.
And you were assigned to the third floor of the election department.
The fourth floor of the
okay.
election department at West Grand Boulevard location.
And what were you told you were supposed to do?
The first day, basically, we were all, it's about, let me see how many people, about 40 to 60 people on that floor. We were, first day were, giving all kinds of instructions, how this training is going to be. And then in the afternoon, we started opening the mails that was received to the headquarters. That is the mail for application for absentee ballot request. So basically, that's what we were doing the whole week, first week, starting from September 8th. I started at 9 a.m. It was 9 to 4 p.m. So the entire group was working from 9 to 4, opening the mails, sorting out the mails. And we were asked to sort out according to the counting board, 134 counting boards. So there are 134 counting boxes set up, so you can sort out the applications that you have opened.
Did there come a time, Ms. Jacob, in about the third week of September, when you were asked to change date?
So about I think around September 20th or 22nd. Yeah, I would say 22nd, third week of September. We were kind of started packing, making the ballot packages to be sent to different citizens. And what we do is we will do for different counting boards. 50 pack, 50 application will be there. So you will be making packages of 50 ballots. And on the floor, they will let you know what date need to be put on that package, the mailing date for that ballot. So I notice time to time, basically every day, whenever you prepare that package, the ballot package is always either 3 days, back date, 3 days, not the same day, always days before that date.
So starting on the 20th of September.
22nd.
22nd?
Yes.
22nd of September.
Yes.
For some days thereafter.
Yes.
Each day you were given a different date?
Yes.
In order to backdate?
Yeah. Yes.
The application. Is that right?
Yes.
And it was a different date each day?
Sometimes you use the same date, maybe consecutive days, maybe you will use the same date, but it was different.
But it was never the correct date.
It never be the same day, the day you are preparing the package.
In other words, it was a false statement.
Yeah, it was a date prior to that date that you are preparing the
Who told you to do that?
Whoever was the supervisor on the floor that day.
Was it one supervisor or more than one supervisor who told you to backdate it every day?
There were more than one supervisor, not just one, more than one. So I would say 1 to 3 supervisors.
And how long did you have that position? Until you left that position after a short while.
Yes.
Can you tell us how long you held that position?
Yeah, I worked at the fourth floor of the election department till October 2nd, that's a Friday. September 30th, I was sent for training for the QVF trainings. September 30th and October 1st, I was at training. Then October 2nd was my last day working at the election headquarters. And from October 5th onwards, I was asked to work as a processor at one of the satellite sites. Out of 23 satellite sites, first I was sent to Cromwell Recreation Center at Lasher and 6 Mile. Then I was asked to go to Common Air Recreation Center at Bradbury Drive near downtown from October 12th.
Up until the time you left,
Yes.
how many co-workers did you have when you were backdating the documents?
You mean at the election headquarters?
Yes, at the original place that you worked.
Okay. After I think about around September 15th or so, they started the second shift. Until then, it was only from 9 to 4, one shift. Then they started another shift from 5 to 11. So 2 shifts. So I would say, if you add all of them, let me see. I would say around 80.
About 80 workers.
Yes.
And to your knowledge, were they all instructed exactly like you were?
Yes.
To falsify
the
document?
Yeah, when they were preparing the ballots to be sent, the ballot package.
So the ballot package had a false date on it when it was sent out, deliberately?
I mean, what basically is that date that you put on that ballot package, that will be entered to QVF as the ballot mailing date. And that's what it is.
And then the law requires, doesn't it, you correct me because you know it much better than I do, that within 24 hours of your receiving the application, you have to respond. Is that correct?
Yeah, per the State of Michigan's official manual, you are required to issue a ballot within 24 hours of the application request. That's what I read in the Michigan officials manual, the chapter 6. That's what it is written. So I don't know, when I was preparing the package, when I was preparing the package in third week of September, I even saw applications from June, July, August.
And what happened to the June, July, and August applications? Were they dated differently?
No, the application, the citizens' applications, the date citizens submitted that application, it was from June, July, August, but we were preparing the ballots in September after 2-3 months later.
So during the period of time you were there doing it, which you estimated was about 10 days,
yes.
Would you say that about 100,000 false documents were created?
Yeah, from September 22nd till, I would say, till September 30th. Yeah, about 10 days. I mean, I was there till October 2nd.
And you estimated, when we went over this, about 10,000 a day.
Yeah, anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000. Yeah, sometimes we will be able to complete. I even remember 14,000 packages. Sometimes it's 12,000. So you can just, to be on the safe side, you can say 10,000 per day. That's a good number.
And just before we leave this, would your supervisor say this to all of you publicly? In other words, he would say, today, the date we're going to use is
this date.
Whatever.
Yes. Yeah, that's the announcement.
In other words, you had the phony date of the day.
Yeah, that's the announcement they will make, yes, on the floor, yes.
Then on October, then you were transferred and you went for training.
Yeah, on September 30th from 9 to 11:30 a.m. Then also on October 1st, those were the 2 days I was sent for training at Wayne County Community College. From 9 to 11:30 morning session. Then afternoon you will come back to the election headquarters.
And what do you remember of your training? What were you told during the training?
It was not good.
It was not good?
No.
Well, how wasn't it good?
mean, first of all, when I was at the Wayne County Community College from 9 to 11:30, it's about, I would say, around 20 to 25 people. There were two groups, so I was with the second group. The first group training was from September 28 and 29. First group. I am with the second group, September 30th and October 1st. About, I would say, around 20, 25 people in each group. But what I found out when I went there, I tried to log into one of the laptops. It was not working. Then I tried another one. It was not working. So we had problems with the laptops. I couldn't even log into the system. So I was told by the instructor, just listen, just listen. You don't need a laptop. Okay. So basically we were just I would say at least out of 20, 25.
Now you have a tape recording of this, don't you? That you don't want to share because you don't want the person who said this hurt. Is that correct?
No. So what I did was, since I didn't have a laptop, I didn't have nothing in front of me, I asked the instructor, can I record your lecture? Because I have to be, from October 5th, I have to be by myself. I have to work as a processor. So I want to learn something. So I asked the instructor, can I record your lecture? She said, sure, you can record. So with her permission, I recorded the lecture.
So when we listened to it last night, did the instructor from the city of Detroit tell you it doesn't matter if the address is wrong or the birth date is missing or there are no names? You must try and find a birth date. And if the signatures look different, find something about them that's the same. No application should be rejected. Is that the sum and substance of what? Was it a she or a he?
It's a she.
Is that what the female told you?
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what basically, you have to do everything to make sure, that water, at the end, that voter should get a ballot and vote. So,
even if the address was wrong.
See, sometimes when the voters walk in, they just give you the house number and the street name, but you have different ways to, you can search the voter in different ways. You can locate the voter. Sometimes you are lucky, you will be able to find everything for that voter, then you can process the ballot. But that won't be the case for everybody.
And suppose you can't find everything for that person. What do you do then?
The instructors sometimes tell you, you should set aside that application and we will send that application back to the election headquarters, let them take care of it.
And when you did that, what happened to it?
I don't know what happened after that. I don't know. It was sent. And also I was also instructed with regard to how to verify the signatures. You have to do everything so that the signatures, you have to match it.
Well, during the time that you worked there, which should be about a month,
yes,
except for you, did you ever see any other application rejected as deficient?
No.
Didn't you see people that came up to you that you rejected, that went to someone else, and then they accepted that person?
See, the location where I was working, I remember a few times. I would say the first 2 weeks from October 5th, the first week is October 5th. That's the first day the early voting started at satellite locations. Then second week, October 12th. Daily, I would say the first week we had like about 8-9 voters all day from 9 till 6. Then second week maybe about 15. But the third week and the last week of October, we had more, and I remember two or three times, I had to reject, I think at 2 or 3 occasions to reject the ballot, and they were so angry, and they were so, angry, and they will sometimes, call you all kinds of names. Oh, you are saying I cannot vote? You don't count my ballot? And things like that. And I will say, so I'm so sorry, I cannot do, then I will ask my supervisor what to do. And then supervisor will say, Jesse, I don't know. Then, he will say, oh, I have other places, I will go and vote. Okay, then he will just walk out. So I don't know whether he went to the nearest one, other side. You can go to any location. There are 23 satellite locations. You can go to any of that satellite locations.
Ms. Jacob?
Yes.
I don't want you to do this if you feel uncomfortable, but would you be comfortable taking your mask off so that people could hear you more clearly?
Can you hear me now?
Not clear.
Can everyone hear it clearly?
We can hear it. We can hear you.
Okay. Now, the supervisor you originally had when you first were there, did you observe her coaching voters to vote for Biden and the Democrat ticket?
Yes.
And then as it got closer to the election, in fact, in the day or two before the election, were others of the workers there helping people to vote for Biden and the Democratic ticket and even going into the little booth with them?
Yeah, I remember on November 2nd, specifically, that's the last day of absentee voter, November 2nd, 4 p.m., that's the deadline. So that day we had lots of people coming to the center. And I remember, let me be honest with you, I don't remember that person's name, but he was working as a ballot runner, and he was going to the polling booth and standing by the side of the voter and helping them to complete the ballot, assisting the voter. I was really concerned, but I didn't say anything. I don't know whether my supervisor saw that. She was in the room, but he was doing that.
Did you find that wrong, unacceptable?
I knew it is wrong, but I didn't say.
Pardon me?
I knew it is wrong, but I'm just a processor there. It's up to the supervisor. I didn't say anything.
And then was there a day when 3 people came in wearing Black Lives Matter T-shirts? I think it was on November 2nd, you said? They were going to the voting booth and helping people to vote?
No, what they did was, I think it was earlier than that. I don't remember the exact date, but they were 3 of them. One was holding the flag and one was wearing, I think all of them were wearing the Black Lives Matter or something like that. And one of them, actually, he wanted to drop his, they were there to drop off their absentee ballot. So they walked into the room and they were dropping, one of them were dropping the ballot into the box. So the other one was cheering and the other one was taking picture and things like that. I knew it is also not right, but I cannot do anything. I was just sitting on my desk and doing my processing job, that's all.
Now, about 14 days before the election, your supervisor, who I think you told me her name is Carla, said that she had a meeting with her boss and that you should stop asking for driver's license or photo ID.
Yeah, what she told me was, they are all registered voters. You don't need any photo ID or driver's license. They can just, come and vote. Let the people vote. So basically, but as a processor, I was not comfortable doing that. So myself, I was, when they come to my table, I used to ask them at very low voice, can I see your driver's license, please? I used to get from all of them to make myself comfortable when I am issuing the ballot. But I was told not to ask because they are all registered voters.
You asked them for driver's licenses and photo ID?
Yes, I did.
And what happened?
That way I can verify their signature, the signature on the driver's license, with a signature on the application and also the signature in the QVF. So I can verify all those three. And when they return the ballot to me, I can see how they are signing on the absentee ballot envelope, the return envelope. So basically all four locations, in the QVF file, on the driver's license, and on the application, and on the ballot return envelope. So
Now,
they are good. If all four of them are matched, I will receive that ballot into the QVF, I'll save it, and I will place my initial on the ballot return envelope, ballot number, date, and again initial. So 2 initials I have to place on the ballot return envelope when I am receiving the ballot into the QVF. So I was doing that for each and every ballot that I issued. That's what is required by the Michigan official manual.
Now, your co-workers didn't do that, and they asked you, didn't they? Why do you do it? And didn't you say, for my peace of mind?
Yeah, the driver's license, the point when they said you don't need driver's license, I said, for my peace of mind, I'm going to ask, anyway, I'm going to get the driver's license. And sometimes you won't be even able to read the name on the application the way some people write. So I really want, for 2 reasons, to enter the voter's name correctly into the system, and also to verify the signature. And also, of course, the photo ID.
Did you also have to check signatures?
Yes, you do. That's the first thing you do before you even start processing the ballot.
And weren't you on several occasions, didn't you turn people down?
Yeah.
Got very angry at you, and then they went to one of your coworkers, and your coworkers accepted them?
One time I remember one young gentleman, he signed totally different, and he said, then I showed him his signature at QVF file. I turned my laptop and showed to him, see how is your signature in the file, and he said, that's not, I don't sign like that. That was from 10 years ago. I don't sign anymore. I don't sign like that anymore. Then I said, sorry, I cannot do anything. But I think at that point, I think he walked out. Even though the supervisor, she was there, I don't think supervisor did anything. I think the gentleman walked out.
Did there come a time toward the end of that period when a fairly large number of people came to vote in person, but they were people who had requested absentee ballots?
Yes.
And how were you supposed to deal with it, and then how were you told to deal with it?
What I do is when the voter walk into the room, the person at the front desk, they will bring the driver's license. That is the first 2 weeks of October. They will bring the application, and the first thing I will do is I will enter the voter, and you will do a voter search. Then the system will tell you whether city already mailed the absentee ballot to them or not. Whether there is an active ballot in the QVF system for that voter. So when you do that, lots of that time you will see a ballot has been already sent to that voter. But when they come to you, they said, I never requested a ballot. I never received any ballot. I never requested for a ballot. Can I vote now? I'm here. I want to vote now. I said, of course. I can spoil the ballot. I can issue another ballot, and you can vote. So I have done that many times. I was instructed to do like that. But per the Michigan officials manual, you are required to get a affidavit from that person, stating that I couldn't find my ballot, or I didn't